All information contained in this podcast is general in nature and does not consider your individual circumstances. You should consider the appropriateness of this information with regards to your individual objectives, financial situation, and needs. Welcome to Sharing More Than the Sheets, a podcast to help you and your partner make better financial and lifestyle decisions so that you can both focus on the things that you love. I'm your host, Michael Khouri, financial planner, green thumb, husband, and just dad. I'm going to talk about why you need a budget. Now, the reason for this is because as a financial advisor, so many times I will meet somebody that will tell me, I don't think I need to budget, or I don't think I need a plan, or I don't think I need anything. Like I'm happy to just use the one bank account for everything and it's all working well and I still have money and I'm still able to invest and I don't think I need a budget. Now, the reason this to me is such an important topic is because as an advisor, I've seen what works and I've seen what doesn't work. And while somebody may be doing okay without a budget, while they may be getting by, while they may be even moving forward financially, imagine what they could do if they had a budget. Or there's most likely this potential, this extra, this productivity that could be unlocked if there was some sort of structure in the way things are done. Now, a budget is a plan for your money. A budget is, when most people think of budgeting, they think of having spreadsheets. They think of this complicated system. They think of having these different automated transactions happening left, right, and center. Today, when I talk about budgeting, I'm just talking about structure. I'm talking about the things that we do as advisors for our clients all the time. And all I can say to you is if a tennis player, think of the most famous tennis player, one of the most successful tennis players in the world, if they have structure in their training and if they have structure in their weeks and they're the best, then who are you to say that you don't need structure? So that's the easiest way to put it. Having a budget puts you in control of your money because when you know what's happening, when you know what's coming in, what's going out, how much this is, how much that is, it gives you a sense of control because you actually understand what's going on. The issue is when you don't understand, when you don't have that transparency and that visibility and that plan, then you don't feel like you're in control because you feel like you're essentially just following the flow or you're going with the flow. And you might find yourself living paycheck to paycheck or having to rob Peter to pay Paul and having to take money out of here because this is now due and then you forget about this bill and then you're having to do this and that. And that is not the definition of financial control. The other thing is when you have a structure in place, you're giving yourself the ability to spend or permission to spend money and to save. And the reason I say that is because some people feel so tight financially, they don't know what they can and can't spend their money on because they'll, for example, spend money on something and then regret it 2 weeks later because some bills will be due and there's no money available for those bills. And that creates this sense of of just being too shy to spend money or not feeling confident to spend money, and I've seen so many situations where someone will tell me that they, the times that they have gone out and spent money on something, they've been burnt and they suddenly creates this sense of fear around spending money. But if you essentially have control and you have structure, then you know how much you can spend and you can confidently do it, or you know how much you can save and you can confidently do it. Budgeting will help you reach your money goals as well, because as I said, once you know how much is you're spending, how much is coming in, how cash flow is moving around in your life, you are a lot more likely to achieve your goals because A, you can plan them easier, whether you do it with a financial advisor or whether you do it yourself. And secondly, you're able to know when you're going to be achieving certain goals, or you'll at least have a better idea, because if you know how much you're constantly saving every week or every month, it's a lot easier to work out when you'll have, $5,000 for that holiday or $50,000 for that house deposit or whatever it may be. The other thing as well is when you have structure, when you have a plan in place, you have peace, you have There's less anxiety around money because you feel, going back to my other points, you feel in control. You feel that there is you can plan things. And when that happens, suddenly this anxiety that money causes reduces in most cases. Now, obviously, everyone has different levels of emotion when it comes to money, but a lot of the times there is anxiety around money because someone doesn't feel in control and that they feel that they don't understand their financial situation and what's going on. As an advisor, this is what we help with. Apart from putting a budget together, a lot of it is that behavioral coaching and discussions and trying to identify certain triggers that can cause certain issues, even in those that are very financially comfortable, and they just know that they can be doing better or they should be doing better. Having a financial advisor really helps on this side of things because you cannot put a price on being able to sleep at night and having that financial peace. The last reason that all of us should have a budget is to have accountability. When you have structure, when you know how much should be going into what account at what point and why, it creates this level of accountability to yourself, between you and your partner, and between you and your financial advisor, because you are then able to all be on the same page and you're all singing the same song. Novak Djokovic, one of the world's best, if not the best tennis player, I'm sure he has structure in the way he does his training. And I'm sure if he misses a session of training, there's that instant accountability because he'll know he's dropped the ball. His coach will know he's dropped the ball. Whoever was meant to be with him at that coaching session is going to know he dropped the ball. And suddenly, there's accountability and is less likely to miss a training session. Whereas if he didn't have structure in the way that he trained during the week, well, he may not turn up to a session. He might turn up to more sessions on one day than others. He may not even turn up one day at all. And no one's really going to know. As far as everyone's concerned, he's training. He's doing, some training and he's improving. But is he? And this is where having structure helps because money is exactly the same thing. Without that accountability, managing money is nothing. Whether it's accountability with yourself, whether it's accountability between you and your partner, or as I said, you and your financial advisor, having that accountability makes such a difference. This is a big role that we play as advisors in someone's life because the idea of doing a review every 12 months, checking in regularly, being available for phone calls, all that creates an extra layer of accountability because you're talking about it. You've got someone asking questions. You've got someone to call if something happens. So it's probably one of the most underrated benefits of having a budget. So just to recap, having a plan doesn't just give you control of your money, but it gives you permission and confidence to spend and to save money. It's how you reach your goals. It's how you'll have financial peace. And lastly, it creates that accountability that we talked about. Now, if you're still a skeptic after listening to this episode, all I say is try it. Try it for a week. Try it for a month. Try it for a couple of months. See how you go. Have some sort of structure. It doesn't have to be everything, even if it's just your bills initially. Have some sort of structure. Talk to an advisor. Touch base. Reach out to me. I'm always receiving messages and emails from listeners to this on this podcast show, and I regularly help people, whether they are clients or not. I'm always happy to help. So reach out to an advisor or to someone, start the conversation, and you'll see for yourself why you need a budget. Thanks for joining us on Sharing More Than the Sheets. Please make sure you subscribe to be updated with future episode releases, and feel free to share this episode with any friends or family that you think it might benefit. Please visit us at sharingmorethanthesheets.com.au to submit questions or requests for future podcast topics. These podcasts have been brought to you by Better Financial Planning Australia. To book a 15-minute phone chat, visit betterfinancialplanning.com.au.